The Soviet army didn't build soldiers in fancy gyms. They built them with simple tools, discipline, and movements that train the whole body at once. Most people spend an hour jumping between 8 different machines and build strength that only works in a gym. Soviet athletes used a single tool to build strength that shows up when life gets hard. Not mirror strength, real strength. The first one looks almost too easy. You pass the kettlebell in a smooth circle around your hips, switching hands behind your back. That's it. It's called the Around the World Kettlebell. After a few rounds, something surprising happens. Your core starts working way harder than you'd expect from something so simple. The reason is that this movement trains something most people never think about. It's called anti-rotation strength. Instead of bending or twisting, your core resists movement, and that's exactly what protects your spine when you're lifting something heavy, running, or just moving through everyday life. Think about it this way. What's stronger, a core that bends around and moves a lot, or one that refuses to budge when pressure hits it? That second one is what this exercise builds. Your abs, your obliques, and your lower back all work together to create what you could call full-circle core stability. At the same time, your shoulders learn to move smoothly and with control, instead of just hanging loose with no tension behind them. To do it right, brace your core, keep your arms mostly straight, and pass the kettlebell in a smooth circle around your hips. Switch hands behind your back, and keep the movement clean and controlled. Don't let the bell swing around loosely. A light to moderate weight works best, especially if this is new to you. Aim for 3 to 5 rounds of 30 seconds each, or about 20 smooth passes per round. After a few sessions, your core will stop feeling soft and start feeling like something you can actually rely on. And here's something most people miss. The shoulder benefit is just as real as the core work. Because you're passing a load through a full arc with control, your shoulders learn to move well under load. That's not something a plank will give you. This one movement is quietly doing 2 jobs at once. But core stability is only the beginning. Because the Soviets believed that strength should travel through the entire body in one single explosive motion. That brings us to exercise 2. The kettlebell clean. This is one of those movements that looks straightforward until you try it. And then you realize how much is actually happening. You pull the kettlebell from below your hips and guide it up to your shoulder in one smooth, powerful motion. The key word there is smooth, because the real power doesn't come from your arms, it comes from your hips. Here's exactly how to do it. Stand with your feet shoulder-width apart and the kettlebell on the floor between your feet. Push your hips back, hinge forward, and grip the handle firmly. Now drive your hips forward with force like you're trying to stand up as fast as possible. That explosive hip drive is what sends the bell upward. As it rises, keep it close to your body, guide it to your chest, and catch it gently in the rack position near your shoulder with your elbow tucked and the bell resting on your forearm. That's 1 rep. The reason Soviet coaches love this movement is the same reason it belongs in this routine. It builds functional strength, the kind that carries over into real life. Lifting heavy things, moving fast, carrying loads for a long time. Your legs and hips do most of the driving, your glutes, quads, and hamstrings act like the engine, and your core tightens the whole time to keep your spine stable. Then your forearms work hard to control the catch. The biggest mistake people make with this one is trying to muscle the bell up with their arms. Don't do that. Let your hips generate the power. Your arms are just there to guide the bell into position. Start with a weight you can control and try 4 sets of 5 reps to begin. Once you've built that raw power with the clean, you need something that takes that same explosive hip drive and turns it into speed. That's where the kettlebell high pull comes in. Here's how it works. Start with your feet shoulder-width apart and the kettlebell on the floor in front of you. Hinge at your hips, grab the handle, and load your hips like a spring. Then explode upward, driving your hips forward and pulling the kettlebell to chest height with your elbows leading high and wide like you're zipping up a jacket with force. At the top, your elbows should be above your hands. Control it back down, reload your hips, and repeat. Your hips do the work, your arms guide the bell. Keep the tempo fast and deliberate. If you want to increase the challenge, try doing this from a slight deficit. Stand on a small platform and place the kettlebell on the floor below you. The extra range of motion forces your hips to work through a bigger arc, which means more muscle activation in less time. If you don't have a platform, just hinge a little deeper than usual. Because the movement is fast and ballistic, your heart rate climbs quickly. This is conditioning and strength training at the same time. Your glutes, hamstrings, and lower back drive the bell upward. Your upper back and forearms control it at the top. You're not just getting stronger, You're training your body to produce force quickly and recover fast, which is exactly what real-world strength looks like. For programming, beginners should start with 4 rounds of 8 to 10 reps. If conditioning is your goal, try 3 rounds of 15 fast reps. If you're training for strength, go heavier and keep sets to 5 reps with more rest between rounds. If you're finding value in this, do me a favor and subscribe. What I'm putting out next will completely reshape how you approach strength. Exercise 4 is the kettlebell swing. If you only had time to do one thing from this entire list, this might be it. The swing trains your posterior chain, the muscles running up the back of your body from your heels to the base of your neck. These are the muscles that make you powerful, fast, and resistant to injury. They're also the muscles most people completely neglect. Here's how to do it correctly. Stand with the kettlebell on the floor about a foot in front of you. Hinge at your hips, push them back, and grip the handle with both hands. Pull the bell back between your legs, then drive your hips forward, hard to send the kettlebell swinging up to chest or eye height. At the top, squeeze your glutes and stand tall. Then let gravity bring it back down. Hinge your hips to absorb the load, and swing it back between your legs to reload. It's powerful, and it's surprisingly hard once you pick up the pace. What makes the swing so valuable is that it teaches your body to produce force through the hips and not the lower back. Most people with back pain are compensating for weak glutes and hamstrings. The swing fixes that. It also builds cardiovascular endurance in a way that feels completely different from running, because every rep requires a full body contraction. The swing is one of the few exercises that trains your body to decelerate safely. Every time the bell comes back down, your hamstrings and glutes control that load and redirect it. That's the kind of strength that prevents pulled muscles and back injuries. You're not just building power, you're building resilience. Aim for 4 sets of 15 to 20 reps, or use it as a finisher with a single set of 50 reps at a moderate weight. The final exercise ties everything together. It's the kettlebell front squat. After all that explosive work, the front squat asks your body to produce strength slowly and under control. Here's how to set it up. Clean the kettlebell into the rack position, so it rests at your chest with your elbow tucked underneath and the bell sitting on your forearm. Feet shoulder width apart, toes slightly out. Brace your core hard, keep your chest tall, and squat straight down, letting your knees track over your toes as you descend. Go as deep as your mobility allows while keeping your chest upright, then drive back up through your heels. Holding the weight at your chest instead of at your sides changes everything. Your core has to stay rigid to keep you upright. Your upper back has to stay tight to hold the rack position. Your hips and legs do the actual squatting. The result is a movement that builds leg strength, core stability, and posture all in one shot. This is also one of the best things you can do for joint health as you age. The front squat forces your body into a very upright position, which is easier on your knees and lower back than a traditional back squat. And because the rack position demands your upper back stay engaged throughout, you're building posture without even thinking about it. Try 4 sets of 8 to 10 reps, go slow on the way down, pause at the bottom, and drive hard on the way up. So there you have it, 5 exercises. Around the world kettlebell for anti-rotation core strength, the clean for explosive full body power, the high pull for speed and conditioning, the swing for posterior chain strength and heart health, and the front squat for leg strength, core stability, and injury prevention as you age. 1 kettlebell, 5 movements, a complete workout. You don't need a gym, a full rack of equipment, or an hour of your day. You just need to show up and do the work.